movements on the protocol that we took, like the base for all protocols, 4 to 6 times a day it says do everybody's fiber. Now, what if they go one time real good in the morning, go a second time a little bit in the morning, a third time a little bit, and then the fourth time a little bit later in the day? What would you do for them?
If it's within an hour,
Uh-huh.
it's probably they're just not emptying completely.
Okay.
They're just breaking up that one bowel movement into 3 or 4 different parts. I would count that as one bowel movement.
Okay.
Especially since they're going a little bit the next 2 times. Then the one later in the day, I would count that as a bowel movement.
So maybe 2 bowel movements a day, then maybe add slippery elm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you. I was confused on that one, so that answered that.
Yeah, but I don't have anything like twice a month. When I was pregnant with my daughter, I had 2 bowel movements a month for like 4 or 5 months. Boys, I'm miserable.
Wow, I
Yeah.
bet.
Oh. Now if I skip a bowel movement, I feel miserable. I can't imagine having to live like that again.
Yes. So slippery elm, you would give the powder more for rebuilding the mucosal lining, and everybody's fiber more for getting the bowels to move for more fiber, right?
My very, very favorite is everybody's fiber.
Okay.
But if you're going and you just need a little bit of healing, or just a little moisture, slippery elm is a little bit cheaper, that's all.
Okay.
But if the person could afford it, I think everybody's fiber is really good for anyone who doesn't have intestines that are very raw.
Well, I don't know. I'm thinking this guy's intestines might need worked on too. So I try to get him to do the slippery elm powder, and he's like, yuck. So then he tried the everybody's fiber, and he could at least get that down. So
Okay.
at least I know what direction to go in, so that helps.
hmm
Thank you.
No problem. Diane comes up with a good question. Why powder and not capsule? If it's in the intestines, you can do the capsule
Oh, okay.
because it breaks
I thought
down
that,
as soon as it hits the intestines, it breaks down, or in the stomach, it breaks down. The reason why you have to drink the powder of slippery elm is if you want to heal the esophagus as well.
gotcha. Thank you.
hmm
There is just so much to remember.
Yep. Yep. It comes to you though. But the whole thing is what I love about herbs is if you tell someone to take the powder and not the capsules, it's not like they're going to have a horrible side effect, or you're going to destroy their health. They'll just gag a little bit, which is no, really. What I like about the herbs, especially the herbs that we work with a lot, because I stay with very, very safe herbs. A lot of the stuff that like you don't hear me talk about MSM very often because I know a couple people that have gotten yourself in a bad way toxic wise by taking MSM. So I try to stay with things that are very, very benign and healthy without any side effects. All right, let's let 2 people in. Hello, Mercy, and Cherie is here. Hello, Cherie. Hasn't been a long time, Cherie. Okay, so I would like someone, Sherry's going to help me with the questions, but I would like someone, if they don't mind, to keep a tab on a piece of paper. Does anybody have a piece of paper and pencil close at hand? And would mind doing this for us?
Ada said yes.
Okay. Could you write liver on the top of the paper? Write liver space, myelin space, acid space, bowel. Because almost everyone's going to have one of those things, and I like to tally it up at the end just to show you. Not that I think you should cheat and do this, but when someone comes to you, you pretty much can work on those 4 things and hit one of them somebody has, even if you didn't know anything about iridology. But I just want to show you how frequently those happen.
Mary, she said liver, myelin, acid, bowel, and what?
That's it, just the 4. Liver,
Okay.
then myelin, then acid, and bowel.
She said thank you.
Uh-huh. So this is how we're going to do it. Oh, wait a minute. I need to get my thingy up here, so just wait a second. I should have put an eyeball up here. I was going to do that and I didn't. Does everyone have their charts? Oh, good. Joanne just gave us a chart. Then we'll go back and forth. Oh, this is the other chart. By any chance, do you have the chart that's going this way? The link? Wait a minute here. How many people are here or in our group?
Joanne said that is the one that's on your site that you just pulled up.
Okay, who here is not in our group? Anybody not in our group? Our Nature Sunshine group?
Diane said me. Amanda, me.
Okay, then I'm going to hide
Letitia Cross. How do you pronounce that?
Letitia. Letitia's I.
Letitia? That's
That's I.
pretty.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Okay. Yes. I am just not the best pronouncer. I apologize. She said me.
Okay. That's all I need to know. Then now,
And Joanne did put up a link.
yeah, there's another link that I have somewhere in this mess. Oh, come on. I know I have it somewhere.
Okay, she said this is another link.
Here, this is the one. So I'm going to give it to you, Joanne, and perhaps we can use this one. But thank you for doing that. I put another one up, I think last year, because so we're going to try to go back and forth on this. Alrighty. So this is a left eye. No, it's not. It's a right eye. So, all right. You guys want to type in what you see? Or do you want me to do how I would do this consultation the first time, and then you guys do the rest? How you want to do that? We can do it either way.
The second. Yeah, you first.
Okay, me first?
You don't your way. You do it your way.
Okay, I'll show you what I would do if I saw this person. The things that jump out at me, and if this is like Danielle, you might want to write this down because this is basically a consultation. So you might want to write all this down. Also, Sherry, can you make everyone an organizer? We're going to try to record this.
Oh, can I do that? Okay.
Yeah.
It might take me a little bit here.
Yeah, you just have to right click and then hit organizer. Now we're going to try this. They tell me that they got the kinks out. We go to webinar. We're going to test their theory out here. So
Joanne, they're not. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Joanne, they're not going to let me make you an organizer.
Okay, we'll make whoever you can. So,
okay.
If you do not want to say anything, you just made her a presenter.
Oh, sorry.
You just scared the bejeebers out of somebody. I don't know who it was. They go, no! Okay.
It's Halloween. I'm trying something new. No.
So if there's something, if I have a question and it's personal, I'm leaving this little block up here so that you can personal chat me. Just click on the thing until you see Mary Reed. Do I go by Mary Reed? What was my name on here? I don't know, like Mary Read, and then say something, and I'll kind of give you, we'll try to keep it private since we're recording this. Does anybody have a problem with everyone recording this? If you do, that's fine. You can put yes.
Okay, Cherie and Danielle, I cannot get you an organizer.
They're
Let me
probably
see
not on a
here.
computer, that's why.
Okay. Let's see who else. Let me try you again, Joanne. Nope.
Okay, so no one said that they minded we record this, right?
Okay, I got everybody but about 3 people.
Okay. So nobody
And
cares if
yeah,
we record this?
I got a lot of no's, so.
Okay. No
Oh,
yeses at all?
Joanne's on the iPod. Um, I have to scroll back up. Let's see here.
Okay, let
I
me,
think we're good though.
okay.
Sorry, Joanne, I just seen you on the iPad.
All I see is no's. Okay, we'll start then.
Yep, me too. We're good.
Okay, so I'll do the first one. The first thing that jumps out at me is all these lymph nodes. Lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of lymph nodes. So I'd put lymph nodes down as number 1. There's yellow on these lymph nodes, but I think it's on top of the lymph node because there's yellow other parts. So we can't say that they're chronically clogged, although as many as there are, it's getting pretty close. But the color could very well be just from the uric acid covering the whole eye. The next thing I see is the myelin sheathing is very thin. You can see a little bit of it here, but look at this. This is like almost gone. You know, it's not very good at all. There's a weakness here on the appendix. Let me show you the appendix. Right there's the appendix. Right here. There's a weakness on the liver. And remember, the liver is one of the super 5. So that is a genetic weakness because it's the whole liver's involved and it's weak itself. So this is liver. Little weakness in a very bottom part of the lung. When that happens, sometimes the person doesn't breathe deep enough, and we'll get into that in a second. Here in the bronchioles, because I think the autonomic nerve wreath goes like this. Although it's really hard to tell, I think it does. The shoulder neck area looks really tight. So this would be in the lower jaw area, or maybe the throat. It's pretty close. I would say this is lower jaw and this is throat, so it could be one lesion and include both of those. Then weakness in the esophagus, which is another super 5. Weakness in the neck, right here, and a couple places down the back. There's also a real weakness on the whole right kidney. It's an open lacuna, but that is the whole kidney. And then the peritoneum wall right here. So those are things that I would mention on poor digestion. Now let's go to the other eye. Pretty much the same.
Did you notice the uric acid's not so bad on this eye?
Wait a second. Yeah, that usually happens because people lay on their right side when there's less uric acid on one side. But there is more dietary acid on this side.
That's interesting. Someone asked, what are the circular dots?
Oh, those are lymph nodes. I'm sorry. Those are the lymph nodes.
And what are those 4 tiny black dots in a row near the bottom of the right eye?
Okay, let me look at the other eye.
Oh, I seen them too.
Are you talking about this right here?
Yes.
I think that's just something on the contact. See this contact right here? It goes the whole way out here. Because they're exactly a certain thing for, so that looks just like an imprint. So Danielle, do you have like a little thing that shows you your right eye from your left eye?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. But these guys are observant. Good job. Okay, so again in the shoulder neck area, it looks like that muscle's tighter than it should be. And then the neck here and further down in the back, so kind of watch your back. This is on the uterus. Again, the peritoneum. So Danielle, do you have children?
No.
Then I would probably go get a pap smear just to make sure everything's hunky-dory.
Okay.
But the number one thing is the lymph nodes. Number two thing is the myelin sheathing. Number three is the acid, both uric and dietary. And then there's a weakness here on this kidney as well.
And is that stress rings?
Yeah.
Yep, right through there.
Yep.
Francie asked Danielle, did you have your appendix out or anything happen to your jaw, throat?
No.
When you do you ever run, Danielle?
No.
Oh. Because usually if you run, you get a stitch in your right side if your appendix is weak. And the jaw. The lower jaw looked like it would be a tooth that was pulled. Did you have any of your teeth pulled in your jaw? Lower jaw.
No.
Then what I would probably do is go to a dentist and see what's going on.
Okay.
Okay? But the main things are, oh, and something else. Does your jaw ever click?
It has before.
Yeah. Okay, it could be that too. Yeah, it could be a little bit of that. But that's nothing compared to this other stuff. So what I would do is I would jump on a trampoline, probably 15 minutes twice a day if you can do it, because those lymph nodes are pretty heavy duty. I would cut out milk products if you can. What's your blood type?
I don't know.
Okay. I would find out to make sure that, because like O blood types like me shouldn't have any milk at all, none. But I would cut out milk and heavy proteins. I would probably drink nothing but good water. Reverse osmosis water is the kind that I suggest. I wouldn't drink coffee, tea, or soda, or Kool-Aid, or colored drinks at all. So that would be for the uric acid. Do you know what your pH is by any chance?
No, I haven't got a chance to check it yet.
Okay, I would, because there's acid there. We don't know if it's acid going through the bloodstream and it's current, or if the body has stuck it into the tissue, but you have a lot of acid. So if we know what your pH is now, we'll know the best way of getting that old acid out. I'm probably going to suggest Una de Gato, I would imagine. And then your myelin is thin, and this eye as well. So symptoms of a thin myelin are maybe having a hard time concentrating when there's a lot of things going on around you. Do you have that?
Yes.
You're supposed to dream every night and remember your dreams with no nightmares. Nightmares is whenever you're afraid or angry or upset or lonely or frustrated. How often do you remember your dreams in a week?
Most of the time I do.
7 out of 7?
Maybe like 5 out of 7.
Okay. Then I would increase the nervine combination into it 7 out of 7. I would also do some fatty acids, probably hemp oil and super omega-3 oil. And I believe in taking those with a protein. Again, no coffee, tea, or caffeine. So that's a big part of that. Then the liver, symptoms of liver, any kind of female problems, heavy periods, missed periods, endometriosis, fibroids, Henderson breast, cramping, PMS, any of that junk. Do you have any of those?
Yes.
Okay. Another symptom of liver is bloating or passing gas more than once a week. Do you bloat or fart?
Yes.
Okay. And this is the acid test. You're supposed to sleep the whole night through without waking up. You shouldn't wake up to pee or look at the clock or anything. You should sleep the whole night through. How often do you sleep the whole night through?
I normally wake up like 1 or 2 times.
Okay. So that we know we need to get very aggressive. I'd probably start with 6 liver cleanse a day and keep increasing it by 1 capsule a day per week until you are sleeping the whole night through. Another sign of liver is the neck and shoulder muscles get tight. And it looks like that's what's happening to you. So I want you to feel the muscle that goes like on the top of your shoulders. It should be nice and mushy. Is yours tight?
Yes.
Okay. So after we get your liver working well, you might have to get that massaged out, but then it'll stay massaged out, hopefully. You also have a little weakness in the thyroid area right here. How many moons do you have?
2.
2. Okay, well then, we'd have to wait for other things first because you can't do everything at one time. But that's something I would work on later on. The one thing that does concern me a little bit about this side is the weakness in the lower lung. So I want you to breathe in on a count of 8. I want you to hold it for 8 and then exhale for 10 as I count. And when you inhale through your nose, and you exhale, you're going to blow out like you're blowing through a straw, like, okay? I don't know if you could hear me
Okay.
blowing or not. So, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, start inhaling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, was that easy to do or a little bit difficult to do?
A little difficult.
Okay. What I would do is I would do 15 of those a day. Breathing just like that. Don't do it while you're driving because some people get lightheaded. But it seems like the bottom part of your lungs are not emptying out, and that stale air in time can weaken the lung. It doesn't cost anything to do it, you know. The appendix, I'm hoping you can keep it. We're working with the liver and getting rid of the acid. Hopefully you can. But if you start getting pains on the right side, like a stitch in your side, that indicates that the appendix is starting to get angry. Either contact me to see if we can try saving it, or you might have to go to the hospital and get it out. It's large. I'm hoping we can save it. That's why I asked you if you run, because people who run will get a stitch in their right side when their appendix is enlarged. In case you're wondering why I asked you about running. So that's mostly what I would do for you. Do you have any questions about any of this?
No.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions about this?
I don't see any.
Okay. No more questions? We'll go down. Okay, who belongs to Michael? Is the person that belongs to Michael here?
Yes.
Who said yes?
Amanda.
Okay, Amanda. Um, this isn't real clear, but there's some things we can see. So we'll try to tell you what we can, but better pictures will be more helpful. If you get them for me, are you in our group? Our Nature Sunshine group?
No, I have a herbalist around me that signed me up, and I found you online afterwards.
Okay, no, that's fine. I just offer one-to-one on those who are in my group, but that's fine. You're still welcome here. You know, I just wanted to offer you our group thingy, but that's fine. Okay, Michael has poor digestion. See this ring around here? That indicates
Yes.
his digestion's not real good. Also, the pupil's kind of chewed away. That usually happens from coffee, tea, aspirin, or skipping breakfast.
Yeah, he does that a bunch.
Which one?
Everything.
It makes sense. Okay. Also, his bowel is very spastic, and he has some diverticulum. See how oops, his bowel just goes, just kind of goes in and out and in and out and in and out. So, some of that comes from his nervous system, although it's not clear enough to see stress rings. He does have places where the myelin is thin, like right here, right here. It's hard to tell because there's acid. He has quite a bit of acid too. So I would write down poor digestion, spastic bowel, acid. He has some lymph
Okay.
nodes, but they're small, and I think it's way down the bottom of the heap on what we need to work with. There is some kind of funky on his kidney right here, though. Looks like a little injury. I don't know if he ever got hit in the back. Was he a football player by any chance?
No.
Oh,
He did karate.
oh well, I was going to say football players sometimes get hit in the kidney area. Would they do that to karate, too? So it looks like he was whacked pretty hard in the kidney one time. And you should kind of watch his lower back. So,
Okay.
Mary, are you going to post the eye up there when you do the eyes?
you know what? When I do this, it goes away. So let me see. Can you keep posting it there for me so I can keep finding it and post it back up?
I'm not sure if I know how.
Oh, well, how about Joanne? Can you keep posting that for me, Joanne, so I can just keep clicking on it? I got it this time. But see, what happens is whenever I move the next slide, it goes away.
Gotcha. She said okay. Thanks, Joanne.
Yes, thank you. Okay. Let's see here. No, it's the wrong eye. There's also a weakness on his adrenal, on the adrenal and the kidney. So I would tell him no coffee or tea because that's going to whip that adrenal out for good. He also has some tightness in his shoulder area, and then there's brown. Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't supposed to do this. I'm going to do this one, then you guys can do the rest. I'm sorry. You were supposed to do these. I apologize.
Mary,
Yeah.
someone asked, why are you focusing on the kidney when there is many more other dark lacunas?
Because your left kidney is a backup. You know, if I had a child needed a kidney, they would take my left kidney and give it to the child because you don't really need both of your kidneys. You could live all your life with one kidney. Not as well, but the kidney does very little work. This is someone who has damage done to both kidneys. Although they're just chronic, they're not degenerative or anything, they're dark. That's pretty dark. And it's in both eyes. So he doesn't have a backup. And this one, oh, it stayed that time. This one looks like it was an actual injury because it's very, come on, you mouse. See this right here? That's very specific. That looks like an injury. But you're right, there's a lot of things that go on. But it's just because his backup's weak.
And then someone asked, do them diverticulums hurt?
I don't see any inflammation. So probably not. He just probably farts a lot. So who belongs to him again?
Amanda.
Amanda, does he fart a lot?
Yes.
Yeah. So no, probably not. If inside here you would see white, then that would be that they were inflamed. They usually only hurt if they're inflamed. People can go all their life and not know they have those until the doctor sticks a scope up their butt. They'll go, oh my goodness, you're a diverticulum. But if they get inflamed, you know it.
Okay, Mary. Someone asked, how do you see the inflammation?
Okay, the inflammation would look kind of like this, but inside of the diverticulum. I don't know if we have any like this one maybe a little bit, but I think that's just a healing line. It's hard to tell because the picture's a little bit blurry. But you would see like a pocket that looks like it looks in deep, and it looks almost like there's some mold growing in there. I think that's the best way of saying it. It's not a line like this is a line. It's not a line. It just looks like a little pus pocket. There you go. Looks like a little pus pocket in there.
She said, thank you. Is there lung weakness, darkness at 3 o'clock?
Definitely there is. This is a guy who's called a polyglandular. There's a weakness in the lungs, weakness on several of the glands, the adrenal glands. So what I would do for him, if it were me, this is a difficult one. These are the ones you look at their eye and you go, oh, crap, what do I start with first? How old is Michael?
26.
Oh, my goodness, he's just a baby. Okay, well, at 26, you don't start feeling your joint pain yet. But by the time he's about 35, I suspect his joints are going to bother him. His lower back is going to bother him. Look at this. You know? So I would try to get rid of that acid first. I'd probably put him on curcumin BP, Iridology, and really clean up his diet. No coffee, no tea, no soda, no milk products. I would eat 60% of his diet raw vegetables and fruits. Also, at 26, does he drink a lot with his meals? Because his digestion is very bad for someone who's only 26 years old. Well, usually,
What?
does he drink a lot with his meals, like water or? You should
He
not.
drinks a lot of tea and he loves milk like every night he gets home from work. He works second shift.
Yeah, man, I would cut that out because he's going to start feeling it as soon as he hits 30. He's going to feel like an old man pretty young. And that's when you
Yeah,
get rid of
he's
some of that acid.
hard-headed.
I'm sorry, what?
I said he's hard-headed.
He's a man, right?
Right.
Need you say more. But he'll start feeling it. As soon as he starts feeling it, you know, then he might do it. Yeah, men don't come in. They come in, their leg could fall off, and they'll say, no, it's fine. I'll just pop that baby back in. I don't know why they're like that. They wait until they're in desperate need. But you can see all this inflammation out here, right?
Yes.
And then liver. So I would probably do the Iridology, as I said. Does he have any aches and pains yet?
His heels bother him.
Okay. Well, that's just going to be the beginning. So you're probably not going to get him to do a whole lot right now because when you're young, you think you're invincible, especially when you're a guy. So that's why I would do the curcumin, just to keep this acid down some. The Iridology, the liver cleanse. And then I would put him on mineral chi. Or if he doesn't like the way things taste, like me, I hate the way it tastes, ionic minerals. Because there's all kind of glands, and glands like minerals. And
Okay.
then I would have him not drink with his meals. Forget to put it at the table, you know. Get him used to drinking about an hour after his meals. So that's when you have all this craziness. You know, then try to get him to eat raw vegetables, fresh fruits, things like that. And something else that if his kidneys get really bad, he'll start having a problem with his knees. His knees will crack or get stiff. If that happens, I would work with his kidneys right away.
Okay.
So you don't take care of every one of these little things. This is when you do the constitutional thing. I would do. Does anybody have any questions about this?
I don't see any.
Okay. So just realize all of these mean a weakness. And there's a weakness even on his heart and his aorta. And I suspect it might even be genetic. Yeah, a lot of acid. Yep, the white is acid and inflammation.
And what about the skin ring?
The skirt rim is a little bit, I think this person had a little more of a skirt rim here. Danielle had a little bit of a skirt rim. But again, you know, usually you cannot take someone and totally renovate their life. You just got to make little repairs here and there in the beginning. You know what I mean? But yeah, there's a little bit of a hint, but I don't think it is the number one thing to do. And it's really hard to get men to do skin brushing because they don't care what their skin looks like. Maybe their face, but not their, you know, overall body.
Okay, Mary, we have a couple questions here.
Okay.
Someone asked, a lot of acid because of the white, question mark?
Yes. And there's a little yellow in there too, but mostly white. Now these white are lymph nodes, but they're very small. If you would cut out milk, there's a good chance that they won't get any worse. Milk, cheese, ice cream, and yogurt.
Okay, and then for whoever is tracking liver, myelin acid and bowel, is that tracking per eye or per person?
For person. Okay. Just so that we can see at the end, we're going to be doing 17 people. How many people have these things? Okay, anything else?
Yes. Is lymph ring a possible future cancer sign?
For him, I don't see it as something that I would work on. I mean, it's not way high in the priorities. Now, if this lung got worse, I would worry about this lymph node here. but they're not huge. Like, look at these. They're larger. Look
She
at
said
this.
due to lymph congestion.
No, I think lymph congestion is coming from the milk product, especially since she says he does a lot of milk. And he might do a lot of protein too, like steak and beef and stuff like that. Those are the things that really
Yes.
clog up. He does? Okay. Those are the things that clog up the lymph nodes. But I think the lungs looks like, for one thing, I think there's a genetic weakness in the lungs. So someone in the family line probably had weak lung or smoked. And
His
then,
mom smoked when she was pregnant.
oh, really? Well, you know what? Back then they didn't know about it as much as they do now. Now they know that that can mess up the kids' lungs as well. But, so yeah, it's something to keep an eye on. But I think we need to get rid of the acid first. We need to get his diet good. He's straightened out that bowel a little bit, the liver, you know, so, and then an overall builder with the minerals are. You could literally probably sell 3/4 of Nature's Sunshine to this dude, and he would need it. But if you do more than 3 or 4 things, it frustrates the body and it frustrates the person. And it's hard financially. But even if they have the money, you don't get any further by working on 10 things than you do working on 3 or 4. And I see people trying to do that. People will come to me and they will bring literally a garbage bag half full, or maybe not half full, but about a fourth full of herbs that they're taking. They line them up and it covers the whole desktop. Well, there's no way your body can use all of that and heal all those things at one time. You need to prioritize, and that's what I really, really love about iridology is it helps you prioritize. The things that jump at you first, you see that acid, it's like right there in your face. You know? You see the fact that there's polyglandulars, lesions all over the place. That jumps out at you too. Some people think they have to tell someone every single thing that's going on in their body. And they're just going to give up sometimes if you do. So that's this person, after I would tell them what I would start with, I would say, now that's phase 1. After we get those working, there are other things you need to work on.
Mary, someone asked, what are the super 5?
The super 5 are pancreas, breast, liver, esophagus, and thyroid. Those 5, like Danielle, this is her thyroid right here. Well, that's not nearly as involved as these are. These are much deeper. But she only has 2 moons, which means that her thyroid is only working at about 20% of what it's capable of. That's what we call them, the super 5. Because they're the 5 you have to take super care of. You have to look super close to see, oh, we have a problem in this, because it's not going to jump out at you like the other things will. Any other questions?
Oh, no, I thought I had my speaker on. I've been hit at the opposite times. Okay, we're good.
Okay, now Yun's guys, open up your speakers if you can, or your mics, and just yell out what you see.
Stress rings.
Yep, stress rings, lots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Amanda, honey, you've been under a lot of stress in your lifetime.
Diane said leaky gut.
Yep, because
Toxic
here,
bowel.
yep, toxic bowel,
Sorry.
and the fact, that's okay, I'll talk over you, and you can talk over me, that's okay.
Liver.
Yep, liver. But for those who didn't see the toxic bowel before, the leaky gut, well, toxic bowel because it's darker around here than it is further out. Although it does look like she's cleaned out a little bit. So Amanda, I don't know if you changed something about your diet or your bowel movements, but something has improved. Do you see how dark this all is? And all of a sudden this part right here is light. So you had
Yeah, I have some.
Go ahead.
I said I have changed some recently.
Well, it's showing some improvement right here. So that's good.
How about old parasite lines?
Yeah, she has a few.
And pupillary rough?
Little wee bit, but yep, that's there.
Someone said, is this blue eyes?
It is. Amanda, your eyes should be blue. So are you married to Michael?
Yes.
There's a real good chance you're going to have blue-eyed kids then.
I have 2 kids, and one's 6 months. His eyes are blue, and the other one, hers are kind of like a darkish green. I think they got orange over top of her eyes.
Ah, you need to get a picture of those. Then we need to work on that.
And she'll stay still.
They what?
Being she's 2, she don't want to stay still to take a picture too good.
Yeah.
Because Danielle was going to send them in for me because she's my best friend.
Well, yeah, it is hard at that age. You're right. But you know the greenish color comes from uric acid. So, and you have a genetic weakness on your kidney right here. And you have some yellow in your eyes as well. You have some acid as well. But this is something right here no one mentioned. Look at this stricture she has in the sigmoid. So you would not, I would never, if I were you, ever take bentonite clay. Because it could get stuck here and they might have to cut it out. So don't do bentonite clay. If someone says to do a clean start, I wouldn't do a clean start.
What does that mean exactly?
Do you see right here how this part, this autonomic nerve wreath goes up here and then it goes like this?
Yeah.
That means your bowel squishes in really small there. So the diameter of your large colon should be about 1.5 to 2 inches. But in this area right here, I would say it's probably maybe 1/2 inch. So eating...
So can I do like mascara or senna or anything?
What I would do is I would do lots and lots of raw vegetables, and I would do intestinal soothe and build and bone broth. Those are 3 things that I would do to try to add some moisture to, and then the fiber that doesn't clunk together, like in vegetables, to relax and open that up. In part, it might be because you have really been under a lot of stress in your life. That's more than the average person. Some of it's old, you know. This one and this one and this one is old. But you've had a lot of stress. So you'd probably work with and you don't see a myelin.
Yeah, Mary, we had somebody said thin myelin, poor digestion.
Mm-hmm.
And someone asked, how do you know the parasite lines are old and not current?
Well, I think she has both. I think this one might, and I don't really call them parasite lines. They call them radial furrows because it doesn't actually show a parasite. It shows toxicity, like the garbage can, where if parasites are introduced into her body, that's where they're going to reside. But you can have parasites without those, and you can have those without parasites. But I would have to say probably, when I see these in people, now these aren't in her bowels, they're in her tissue. This one might be in the bowel. But when we do cleanses, people will pass parasites a lot whenever they're in there. But when it comes to the whole realm of things, her nervous system, her bowel are definitely 1 and 2 that I would work on.
Mary, would you repeat what to do for the bowel stricture?
Sure. I would do bone broth. I would do intestinal soothe and build. And I would do 60% of my diet raw vegetables. The vegetables are going to kind of stretch it out from the inside, the bulk, the fiber. The bone broth and the intestinal soothe and build are going to make it more supple, because whenever it gets tight like that, if you kind of soak it, it relaxes. And they're both yin. Bone broth and intestinal soothe and build are both yin. So they help loosen, relax. And then I would work with your nervous system. How often, if you don't mind me asking, Amanda, how often do you remember your dreams in a week with no nightmares?
Maybe 2 or 3 times.
Okay. So I would definitely work with your nervous system. And are you also in your 20s?
27.
Okay. Then I would suggest that you take Chinese stress relief. And then I would take hemp oil and super omega-3 oil. And both of those you need to take with a protein. Now this right
Mary
here.
Jo,
Yeah?
I'm sorry, Joanne sent you another chart, so I don't know if you want to put it up.
Well, she doesn't have any
or,
real lesions we're going to talk about, but thank you, Joanne. I will
okay.
use that for the next time. But do you see right here how this is kind of flat? Can you all see that?
It looks chewed up.
It does. But it also kind of looks flat. It should be kind of roundish like this.
Yes.
Okay, so what I would think is I would go to a chiropractor and make sure your neck is okay.
Yeah, Ada said cervical.
Yeah. Yeah, so go to a good chiropractor that does both massage as well as, you know, physical manipulation, and see if he can work on your neck a little bit.
Her calcium level looks off too.
A little hint, but yeah, a little bit. But I definitely would check her pH because there is a lot of uric acid. I don't know what these are. They must be just reflections or something. And then here's liver. There's a real weakness in the liver. So Amanda, do you wake up at night?
Yes, about 2 or 3 times sometimes.
Yeah. So I would do liver cleanse. Remember, that's the super 5 you have to look for. Even though these other ones look just as bad, that's right in the liver area. So that's what I would suggest for you. Do you have any questions? Where to start?
You said do the bowels and the nervous system?
Yep. Bowels, nervous system, and liver, and acid.
Okay.
The acid, mostly just drink good water, nothing but good water. Because the kidney doesn't look like it's in that bad a shape. I think you're either not drinking enough water all your life, or you drink too much soda or coffee or tea in your or Kool-Aid or something like that. I don't know what it is. But I think that the kidney is strong enough that if you do it long enough, some of that uric acid will come out.
Okay.
Question, why is it more orange instead of brown on the right side?
Typically, whenever there's more toxins on one side of the body than on the other side of the body, it's because you sleep predominantly on that side. So I didn't notice that there was that much of a difference. And also the lighting's different. See how light this is compared to that? It's not quite as bright. So Amanda, do you sleep on your right side?
Yes.
That's why. Because all night when you're laying there for 8 hours, all the toxins are kind of you know, settling, as it were. Any other questions?
Nope.
Amanda, do you have any questions?
Not right now.
Okay, if you do, you know where I'll have my email at the end. Okay, Danielle, is this your eye or someone else's eye?
My dad.
Your dad, okay. Alrighty, so again, it's not quite as clear. Let me get Joanne's thingy here. Hang on. Joanne, would you mind terribly putting that in the thing again? Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, for one thing, your dad's pupil is very small. That can come from medication or pressure in the eye. If he's not on any kind of medication that could do this, you may want him to go to an eye doctor to get his pressure tested in his eye to make sure he doesn't have glaucoma. Okay? Then his myelin is just very, very thin. His pupillary rough is just a mess. His stomach lining is just chewed up. And I keep doing this. What do you guys say? I'm sorry.
I have someone says pupillary rough, lymphatic rosary, poor digestion, heart.
Probably. It's really hard to tell where that myelin is, but there's a good chance it's the heart, yes.
Liver.
Yep, liver. Acid.
Yeah, acid.
Did he have his eye operated on, like cataracts?
Yeah.
Okay, that's probably why that's chewed up, maybe. If he did, they didn't do a very good job. It shouldn't be all that chewed up like that. Okay, so acid is really important. Liver. And realize once he's had his eyes operated on, it can disrupt the fibers so that we don't know everything that's going on.
What causes the cataracts?
Either magnesium deficiency or calcium out of solution, usually. I mean, it can come from an injury, but usually it's the other. Okay, what else do we see here? This is just like a gel in the eye, you know, like a sleepy, so don't worry about that.
We have yellow in the sclera, which is poor digestion.
And liver.
And liver, yes.
I would be concerned about his liver. So Danielle, I would have your dad take some liver cleanse and probably do some castor oil packs. Anything else anybody sees?
Okay, here's why is it so dark in the leg kidney area?
There's a little weakness there, but I don't know where the autonomic nerve wreath goes. I think it goes down here. And there is a little weakness there. But what I'd be more concerned about is right here, which is the prostate. I would have him get his prostate tested.
Okay.
Every man should have a PSA baseline, so you can keep an eye on it. But in his case, I would work with digestion. I would work with his nervous system. And I would work with his liver. acid, nervous system, liver, digestion. Those 4. Acid, probably una de gato. Digestion. How old is your dad?
62.
Okay. Then I would do food enzymes, liver cleanse, maybe even some castor oil packs on the liver, and glutathione patches. And it would be good if you could sit underneath a UV light or a full spectrum light. And if he goes to the doctor regularly, the doctor should know about this yellow. Even doctors recognize that as beginning of jaundice. Is your dad on any kind of medication?
Oh, he's on a lot.
Okay. I would try to tell him to get off whatever he can healthy-wise. I mean, if he's on heart medicine, you can't stop that, of course. But if he's on something for like growing hair or something, you know, craziness, I would get off of it because his liver's being poisoned. Okay. Any questions or comments of this for Danielle?
No.
No.
Okay. Here's Brooke. Who does Brooke belong to? Is the person with Brooke here?
Yes, yes, he's one of my friends.
Okay. Is this Ada?
Yes, yes.
Hi, Ada.
Yes.
I recognize your voice. Hi. You know you've been coming here a long time when I recognize your voice because it takes forever for me to do so. Okay. What do we say about Brooke?
Burning acid, I say.
Yeah, lots of acid.
For digestion.
Yep.
Somebody said liver spots, chromium.
I don't know. I'm thinking they're liver spots. It's, you know, realize this. If you can't tell the difference between liver spots and chromium on here, your monitors will look different. For a long time, I had this lady with like greenish hair, but it looked brown on my monitor. Then whenever I got a new monitor, I thought, oh my goodness, no wonder they were teasing me. It is green. But I think these are brown, mostly because of the way they are. Chromium seems to kind of gather and settle together. But whenever you have things look like buckshot, usually they're liver.
And then we have poor digestion, burnt stomach lining.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, chromium. We said liver spots. Acid, poor digestion, thin myelin.
Yeah, thin myelin. Good.
Lung.
Do you mean right here for the person who said lung?
Yes.
It's hard to tell if that's just a place that's clean, like this, or because there's so much acid. So I'm not sure on that, if it's lung or not. This is the lung area, but I don't know if maybe the lung is just cleansing out, like they had a real big cold and coughed a bunch of that crap out, or there is a weakness there. But I do know there's a lot of acid all around it. And I'm not sure if the autonomic nerve wreath goes like this, I would worry about this person's heart as well. Wait a second here. Okay, here's Brooke's other side. Okay, these are liver. Oh, she has a pterygium. Do you think she'd mind? I wouldn't say who her name is. If I use this for my class, I don't have very many pterygiums.
No problem.
Okay.
No problem.
Thank you.
Someone said pancreas.
A little hint in the pancreas. Lots in the liver, though. Oh, and here's something. Now, this I would say is lung. So maybe that other one was lung. It's hard to tell. I say there's also a little weakness in her knee, right here. Okay, so what would you think number 1 is?
Acid.
I agree. I think acid, yes. Number 2, I would say would be the nervous system, and liver would be number 3.
Mary, what should she do about the pterygium?
My son-in-law, okay, first, IPA says that a pterygium comes from being out in the wind and wind damage to your eye. But my son-in-law hardly ever is outside. He's a computer geek. But he had a lot of acid. I think they also come from acid. So I suspect it would be acid. So liver cleanse formula, the fatty acids like hemp oil and super omega-3 oil with protein, either nerve control or Chinese stress relief, depending on her age and her symptoms. And probably some Una de Gato and check her pH. Do you know what her pH is?
No, but I know she's 74.
Oh, okay. Well, then maybe it's from curcumin too.
Okay.
You know what? She's not getting her circulation's not good. Is she on any kind of heart medicine?
No.
Good. Well,
She's also worried about Alzheimer's. She keeps worrying about that all the time.
the circulation's not so good, but I don't see near the amount of shrinkage, and I don't see any of aluminum. Does anybody see aluminum in their eye?
Mm-mm.
I'm not saying it couldn't happen, but I think she has a less than average chance of having that.
Okay, good. Okay.
But she is lacking a lot of fatty acids, which can make you forgetful. So I would beef up on the fatty acids.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Mary, someone asked, what does the curcumin do?
Curcumin neutralizes acid and helps pull acid out of the body.
And Diane asked, how do you see aluminum?
Aluminum usually is on the inside here or on the outside here, and it kind of glows. Not like this poor digestion glows, but it glows almost like a metal. I don't have any on here. I think I have one in my professional class. It's really hard to explain until you see it. But it's always, every time I've ever seen it, it's always been either on the outside of the eye or the inside of the eye, right where the iris hits the sclera. Like here and here. And although I do see some venous congestion or poor circulation, I do not see the aluminum.
She said thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And then, can you see mercury in the eye? Can't that cause Alzheimer's?
Mercury can cause problems. Any kind of metal in the brain can cause Alzheimer's. Anything from copper to aluminum or mercury. I don't know how to see mercury in the eye. I don't know.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Is this you, Ada, or you're personally, or someone you know?
Me.
Uh-huh. Now we're going to
I
find a scoop
personally.
out. We're going to find out the scoop about you, Ada.
Okay.
Alrighty. What do we say about Ada?
Well, she has a liver spot, bad digestion.
Yep, poor digestion, liver.
Someone said leaky gut.
Leaky gut, but I think her gut is cleaned out a little bit more because look, it's not as toxic here as it is right around here. So you've done something good, Ada. I don't know if you're eating more salad or whatever, but or less noodles and bread, something.
I became vegan, to tell you the
Oh,
truth, because I
okay.
was very, very sick a few years ago. So
Okay,
I
well,
guess I eat more raw. Yeah.
yeah, but can you see how it's cleaner here
Mm-hmm.
than it is here? So good job.
Okay, good.
Calcium out of solution.
Yeah, big time. You have a calcium deficiency and out of solution here. So I would test your pH and get on quite a bit of calcium. I'd probably do about 1,500 milligrams if it was me, calcium and magnesium. How old are you, Ada?
I am 55.
Okay. Then, yeah, I would do at least 1,500. Probably scale to strength if your pH can handle it.
I have that, so I'm taking that. Good.
Good, good. Anybody else?
Someone asked, what's the orange?
She has a little bit of chromium deficiency.
Because that's a blue eye.
Well, mostly blue, yes.
Stress
Okay.
rings.
Lots of stress rings. Yep. Did we say burnt stomach lining?
Somebody might have. I might have missed it.
How about thyroid?
Okay.
How many moons
And
do you
then
have, Ada?
I have like 8 or 9, barely there, but I could see them.
Okay, well, there's a little weakness here. It's either in your throat or your thyroid.
I had Hashimoto's, and
Oh,
with doing all of this, they cannot find it anymore. Thanks
good,
God.
good, good. For people who don't know, Hashimoto's is an autoimmune disease of the thyroid. So it probably the eye hasn't caught up to it yet, that's all.
Okay.
Because it
What would
takes
you think
years.
of, I'm sorry. Yes. I have a question. I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead. That's okay.
The dot on top of the eye there, yeah, there. Do you think that's more liver than anything else, or?
Oh, absolutely, it's liver.
Okay.
Yep.
okay, we have a few more
Thank you.
questions here.
Okay.
What is the very dark red line in the top of the sclera?
Right here? Whoa, wait a minute. This part right here?
Yes.
That is going somewhere, and I'm not sure where it's going because it's not facing here. Oh, I know it is. It's a traveling line. It's a traveling line. So that would be glandular. You have a little bit of a glandular imbalance. You also have a nice healing hook right here.
Oh, good. What can I do for the glandular imbalance?
Well, let me look at your other eye here. Look at your liver. Liver, big time. Big time liver.
Yeah.
I'd probably take master gland because there's no gland that really jumps out at you now that your thyroid, you no longer can find, they can't find the Hashimoto's anymore. And remember, you know, your liver's behind, but your sclera is not. So I would probably work mostly with the liver, maybe some master gland. But you do have, someone asked what infection looks like. You got a little bit of that in here, in your intestines. But it's not very big, so it's probably not causing too much of a problem. But do you see how that looks in there? It looks almost like, I don't know, how would you explain what that looks like? Just like a little pussy in there or something.
Okay, Mary. I hope I don't repeat anything. I had to go get my plug because my computer about died. But how do you fix Hashimoto's, Ada? Someone asked.
Lots of fresh fruits and raw veggies. Lots.
Oh.
So that's how I did it.
Okay. Francie said, that's amazing, Ada.
And that would be true for any autoimmune disease. An autoimmune disease comes from too much toxicity. So the more you clean things out, the less chance you are to have that disease, any kind of an autoimmune disease. But you do have a weakness also on your ovary, right here.
Okay.
On your liver, a couple places, then on your ovary.
Yeah. Okay.
So did you go through menopause yet?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And I'm happy that I don't have my period anymore.
Tell me about it.
So.
Hey, Mary.
Yeah?
What about the upper jaw?
A little weakness there. Yeah.
Okay. And someone asked, what about the bladder?
Okay, bladder would be in this area somewhere. Yeah, there's a couple places there's just little weaknesses. This would be bladder right in here.
And how about a little bit of weakness in the lung?
I don't know about the lung. In the shoulder neck area, yeah.
Yeah, I have metal. I have metal on my neck.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, it collapsed like, I don't know, like 7 years ago, and I have metal fusion with 6 screws and cadaver bones, I guess. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, there's a weakness in the shoulder neck area. And no wonder, holy fart.
Yeah.
But you've done a lot of work. You can tell. Good job. You've done a lot of good work, Ada.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
About 3 o'clock, right off the autonomic nerve wreath. What is that?
Right here?
Up a little bit. Up
Right
to the
here?
next one. That one right there.
It's just toxins.
Toxins from the bowel? Because it's outside the autonomic nerve wreath.
Yeah, she has leaky gut. But her gut, see, you can't, this is a little bit different. At one time, it was probably a lot darker here. And it leaked out. But she's been cleaning her bowel. It's a lot easier to clean out what's in the bowel than it is what's in the tissue outside the bowel. So that's why it looks the way that it does. But at one time, this would have been darker.
Okay, thank you. Someone asked, is the pupil flat in the shoulder area?
Maybe a little bit. Right here, you mean? Yeah, a little wee bit. But she's had a lot of operation there, so that would disrupt the nerves and stuff. But good eye. Very good eye, whoever picked that out.
That was Francie. And she asked about the kidney.
I think the kidney itself is okay. But there is some uric acid. So whenever you have a toxic bowel, the kidneys have to work extra hard. And chances are her eyes have had this for a long, long time. So the yellow, yes, but I don't think it's from her kidney itself, because the kidneys, neither kidney really looks bad. Not like that other one that we looked at. Okay. Any other questions or comments?
Ada said, and I think she means the myelin.
Yeah, your myelin's very thin. So what I would work with you is I would work with your nervous system, continue with a good diet. I would work with your nervous system. I would work with the liver, big time. And I would just try to detoxify the body. Those three, absolutely. I would work with your calcium and probably something for the burnt stomach lining. Some slippery elm or something. And notice this neck area, neck shoulder area is flat too.
Mary, I just seen a question in the question box. I haven't had no questions in there yet, but what's your pH? But I'm not sure what that went to. I apologize to that person. So if you can put your questions in the chat box.
It might be, is there someone in that's not able to come into the room? If it was Cherie, oh, hi Cherie.
Oh, it's Cherie, yes.
Okay.
Sorry, Cherie.
Okay, Cherie, we're going to take you off of mute. We'll give you a voice. Who did you want to know about their pH? Oh, she's not hooked up. Cherie, do you want to take yourself off of mute and ask who you want to talk to about their pH?
Sorry, was Ida's pH the last one? Is it?
Okay. Ada? Ada, what is your pH?
Oh, I don't remember. I'm sorry. I did it a few times ago, but I don't remember.
Okay. Okay, so Ivna, is that who belongs to Ivna?
Mine. That's mine too.
So your sister's Sylvia, you're Ada, and she's Ivna.
Yeah, no, Ivna is one of my future clients.
Oh, okay. I just thought maybe you're all related or something.
No.
Alrighty, so, okay, everybody, what do we see here?
Well, what color eye do you think it is?
You asking me or you asking them?
Everybody. And you.
Thank you, Joanne. She gave me this thingy again.
I have brown. It is blue.
I would say this is a genetically mixed. There's places like right here. I think it's a blue dominant eye, but I think places like right here, right here, right here are brown. But there's definitely a blue influence in this eye.
Someone asked, what nationalities have genetically mixed?
Well, there is no one nationality that has genetically mixed. It's when nationalities mix together. Like brown-eyed are people from Africa, China, Japan, American Indian, and the Greek. Those ones, and sometimes Italians, because they moved around a lot in there. They, you know, that whole area, the Mediterranean. People that are from England, from Scotland, from France, from Russia, typically are blue eyes. So what happens is whenever these people mix, you know, like my dad was his one grandparent and well, his one parent was from Austria. His other parents was one from Austria and one was an American Indian. So that would have my dad would have both blue and brown eyes genetically.
She said cool.
That was Francie that asked that, right?
Yes.
Okay, Francie, do you mind if I talk about your little guy's eyes?
She said sure.
Okay. Remember that funky thing that we saw in the eye? That is because of a genetic mix. That is a blue influence. He has a weak blue genetics.
Wow, I've been wondering about that forever.
That's what it is. I sent it to, I forgot to tell you about it. I apologize. But I sent it to
Oh, no
someone
worries.
in IPA, and they said, well, this eye is a genetically mixed eye, and that's why it came out like that.
Wow, because all my other kids, they look like the true brown eye.
Yeah.
So
So he got a little bit of
amazing.
you. He got a little bit of you in him.
Yay.
And by the way, she has the most adorable little boy. I mean, all her kids are cute. She has 4, right?
Yes.
But the one, Joe is his name?
Yes.
Oh my goodness, he's just so adorable. When he talks like this, like he's so excited. He's just a card, I'm telling you. You should put him in the movies. Okay, so what else do we see going on here?
Yeast, poor digestion,
Right?
thin myelin,
Yep.
diverticula,
Yep.
poor digestion, breast, adrenals.
Yeah, this looks pretty bad right here. This adrenal looks pretty messed up. And I think it's the diverticulum that's feeding the adrenal. I think the autonomic nerve wreath goes like this. That's the adrenal, that's that. Very good. Stress rings, right?
Stress rings, yes. Now, could there be one parasite line there about between 1 and 2 o'clock?
Right here?
Yes.
Really
Yes.
hard to tell, but I think possibly, yes. But that big liver sore there, it's hard to tell, but I'm pretty sure it is.
Oh, so that could be a really weakness since the liver spot's over that, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's see, stress rings, cholesterol.
Yeah, cholesterol, good job. Right here's a little bit of cholesterol and shrinkage of the brain, slight shrinkage of the brain. How old is Ivna? Is that how you pronounce her name, Ivna?
Ivna, she's in like late 30s, early 40s.
Oh my. Then I would definitely start working on this because look how much brain shrinkage she has already.
Okay. What would you suggest for that?
Well, the hemp oil and the super omega-3 oil. And then all these, and her myelin is so thin, I'm not really sure which one of these are inside and which ones are outside. So I don't know if these are all diverticulum. Can anybody see better than me? I think I see a little bit of an autonomic nerve wreath right here. So I think this one might be in the outside. I think
It's
it
really hard
goes.
to tell.
It is. But I would start, I'd probably put on everybody's fiber to clean some of this stuff out. Because some of them, there's places where it's kind of dark. And look here, some infection in here. And in here, there's a little bit of infection in here. So I'd probably put on everybody's fiber. Do you happen to know how often she had bowel movements?
I did ask her. I have it in a paper, but I don't remember if it was like maybe once or twice
Okay.
a day. Maybe. I have to check.
Alrighty. So, everybody's fiber and working on a myelin and working on the brain for this eye. Let's look at this one. Okay. This is probably here in a bronchial. But I would ask her questions about her heart, just in case. I think it's right below the heart. Now these things I think are just flaws because of the glare. These things that look like all over here. I'm pretty sure that's what that
Mary,
is. Yeah?
that's not a right eye, is it?
No, it's the left eye.
Okay, I'm just double checking.
Yeah. Well, I think it's the left eye. Let me look.
I might be wrong.
No, you're right. It is a right eye. I'm so sorry. I had this up and I couldn't quite. This is not working. So take it off. That is definitely the bronchus. And these are the lungs and bronchiole. And this is the appendix. Thank you very much, Sherry.
I just shocked myself.
No, you did good.
Oh.
Liver, which is heavy duty for the liver. Now this one, I think the autonomic nerve wreath goes like this. Crap, I just lost my thing. So, polyglandular, because there's so many around the autonomic nerve wreath, I would probably suggest that you put her on minerals. Definitely with the liver. Nervous system, oops. Fatty acids. Any questions about this eye or comments? She has a little bit of a pterygium starting here.
No, I think we're good.
Did you take this with that scopy thingy, Ada?
Yes. Yes.
I have a really good idea that I do. I got a scope. And what I do is I put it in and I pull down my eye with the scope and I put it up right against the eye. And then I open my eye real wide and it kind of have the scope tight enough that it holds the eye open.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. This, somebody asked about all these dots. Sometimes this looks like whenever someone has a hormonal imbalance.
Mary,
Yeah?
would you put her in a master gland?
Yeah, and minerals.
Okay.
Ionic
liver.
minerals. Yeah, and liver.
Okay.
And nervous
Okay.
system.
Okay. Like Chinese stress relief?
Or
Or
birth control, yeah, but hemp oil and super omega-3 oil.
okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. So again, this is whenever the way the IPA teaches you is the best way to do this eye because it's so overwhelming. There's no way you could do something for every single one of these things. I would probably also put her on glutathione patches. They beef up her immune system a little bit. Especially with these, maybe even some Una de Gato. Yeah. Okay. Does anybody have any questions or comments?
No?
Wow, look at this. Uterus, appendix, pancreas. Wow. Okay. All right, now here's Nancy. Who belongs to Nancy?
Me?
Okay. Alrighty. So, I hope you guys have your charts because it's too hard to bring that up, if you don't mind. What would you say about Nancy's eye, everybody? What's the thing that jumps out at you first?
Acid.
Absolutely, me too. Look at all this guitar and this acid. What else?
Lymph, acid, poor digestion.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
Liver spots.
Yep, lots of liver spots.
Lymph congestion.
Yep. Now these look orange and brownish, but that's because there's other colorations, so that doesn't necessarily mean that it's cancer. Although it's illegal to say cancer in the first place, but I mean, just realize that's probably on top of the lymph node.
Thin myelin. Pancreas.
Yeah, let me say something about the thin myelin. I'm glad whoever said that. Good job. Because the myelin itself is very thin. This is the myelin here, but there's no myelin here. But since there's so much acid around the nerve, you don't notice it. But there's no myelin in all this area right here. There's a little bit right here, but all this is gone. So keep in mind that when you see a lot of catarrh and acid like that, you don't know how much of it is myelin and what is just the acid.
Bowel stricture.
Right here. I'm glad. Who picked that out? Good job.
Francie.
Yep, right here. Bowel stricture. And that is right between the small intestines and large intestines. So that is right by the ileocecal valve. Okay, anything else?
Hypoglycemic peaks.
Maybe a little bit. Let me see the next eye. It's hard to tell. Maybe. You're right. Little bit. Good eye. But again, lots of, I would give her minerals. Now this is, the heart goes right above there. So let's see. I guess I'm going to have to bring the chart back up, which is a pain in the butt.
Isn't it? That's the right eye. Surely.
No, this is a left eye. This one is a left eye, and my chart won't come up. Oh, here it is. Okay, so here's a left eye. So you have here in the mastoid ear, so she could do onion poultices. But right here's where the heart is. The heart is, the very tip of the heart touches at exactly 3 o'clock. So this part right here could be heart. This part here is the liver, because it's touching the autonomic nerve root. Even though it's a little longer than the liver usually is, the liver could be enlarged.
Yes, Mary. Someone just asked, is there a lesion in the liver area?
Yeah. Right here. And then here in the skeletal area and in the bronchus. Okay, let's go to this one. All right, and these pupils, I don't know if it's because the eye is off-centered or what, but the pupil always goes towards the nose, but this one's really, really towards the nose. And this is unusual. She has insulin in her, looks almost like insulin in the lining of her stomach, doesn't it? Uh-oh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. It went
Okay.
quiet there for a second.
And I'm having a few yeses there. Is that because it's the orange? Or
Yeah, that looks orange. Now this and this looks brown. But this here, to me, looks orange on my monitor.
so that orange would mean that there's insulin in the stomach?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Nancy belongs to Ada, right?
Yes.
Okay, Ada, is she on metformin? Do you know?
No, she's one of my neighbors. No, she's
No.
not.
Okay. That's
No.
just weird. Another thing I see weird is these right here, these stair-step lesions. See here, here, and here.
Mhm.
That means something. I can't remember what it means. I'll have to look it up. I apologize. And then this would be what, the gallbladder, perhaps?
Now someone said liver gallbladder.
Yeah.
Diane said, I thought that meant burnt stomach lining.
It's not a halo. If it's a halo, yes. I'm talking about these little things right here.
Oh, were they pee, kind of?
It just looks like someone took a little paintbrush and went dab, 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 dab.
Because I had thought the same thing, so.
Yeah, whenever you see like a halo that's solid, that is a burnt stomach lining for sure. This might mean that. I'll have to ask someone at IPA that. I don't know. Okay, so I would have her on food enzymes. How old is this lady?
61.
Okay. I would put her on food enzymes. I would start having her eat a better diet because she has a couple restrictions in the other eye and in this eye also, transverse colon. I would really get rid of this acid. This acid is just, and work with the liver.
Mary, somebody asked, and what is the watch band looking thing?
That's poor digestion. That's why I'm suggesting the food enzymes. And if she doesn't have any liver problems, I would probably do a gallbladder flush.
And Mercy said, what's for the acid?
For the acid, you can give her curcumin and una de gato, as long as it won't give her diarrhea. Do you happen to know how often she has bowel movements?
Once a day, once or twice a day.
Okay. Then give her some una de gato as long as she doesn't get, very slowly so she doesn't get diarrhea.
Okay, thanks.
And if you, since these are so involved, if you ever want to use these for teaching, you just call me up and you and I can go over these a little more in depth too.
Okay, thank you. And you could use them if you need them. All of them, if you need, I don't mind that you use them. They won't mind because I know them. Okay.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right, so that's the main things that I would work, although she has other things, lymph and all kind of stuff, but that's what I would work on. That's the battles I would pick. Okay, Neva, I guess that's
Nathan.
Nesa. Okay. What does everyone say about Nesa's eyes? Anybody? Nobody.
Is that a biliary?
I hate the word biliary. I'm going round and round with the IPA. They almost saw my way, and now they're going backwards. They're going to have it called a mixed lymphatic, and they decided not to. So if you don't mind, I'm going to avoid the word biliary until IPA decides for sure. I mean, IPA and I can see eye and eye, I guess I should say. But I can say there's blue influence in this eye. And there's probably some brown influence in this eye.
Okay. We have liver, yeast.
Yeast, very good yeast right here. Yep, yeast.
Leaky
Liver.
gut that has been cleaned.
Good job. Yeah, leaky gut, and it looks like it's a little bit cleaner. Good.
stress rings.
Yeah, old. You can barely see them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're very old and very faded. So Navisa, I think you said her name was, had
Nasa.
Navsa.
Yes, yes.
Navsa, okay. I'm so lousy. If you're not named Tom, Dick, or Harry, I'm just lousy with names. Okay, but her stress is not as bad as what it used to be. She also has
Yes, she's divorced.
that'll
She's
do her.
divorced.
That'll do it. She must have been married to some ring dinger, I'm telling you.
Mm.
Inflamed diverticulum.
Very good, right here. I was wondering if anybody's going to notice that. Is that the one you're talking about? Then maybe a little hint right here. But yep, a little bit right there.
Yep, that was Joanne.
Good job, Joanne. Okay. There's also a weakness on, I don't know, it's right between the kidney and the leg right here. I'd probably ask her how her knee is. Then in the shoulder neck area, there's some a weakness there. Looks like some tightness. And in the jaw area right here.
We have thin myelin.
Yep, very thin myelin.
A lesion in the nose, or is that a diverticulum?
Do you mean right here? I wasn't sure if it was nose or if it was the jaw. Let me get my chart back up. Come on, don't do that. There you go. See, I don't know if it's in the nose or in the upper and lower jaw. Upper jaw, lower jaw, so I'm not sure. You'd have to ask questions. So Ada, the questions you might ask her is she ever like had a nose job done or got hit in the nose bad? If not, then ask her if she's had any impact teeth pulled. You know, some
Okay.
back teeth. Your front teeth usually don't leave this. It's usually the molars that have the deeper roots that go into the jaw. Then whenever you pull it, it splinters the jaw a little bit. Okay, let's look in this eye. So this would be in the bronchioles to the ribs, right here. This would again be in the shoulder neck area. I think she has some pretty dark radial furrows. What are you all thinking? Right here and right here especially. These ones may be cleaned out a little bit, especially this one, but that one looks like it's still current. It's still pretty toxic. And then this is her spine. These couple weaknesses there.
And that's because the nerve rings go through there too, right?
I don't work with that like some people do. I'm not that good at that.
Okay.
But yeah, where nerve ring starts and stops is a particular place that's been stressed because of it.
And then we have a question. If someone has been very sanitary, can they start rebounding, or would there maybe a risk of a blood clot in the legs, so rebounding isn't recommended?
Do they know they have a clot in the leg, or are you just thinking that they might because they've been sedentary? Because if I had a clot in my leg, no, I would not do rebounding.
Second.
Okay, so basically she just hasn't been moving much. No, she can do it. I would do it very slowly though, so it doesn't affect her heart or her heart, his heart.
Second and not sure.
Yeah. But if there's no blood clot that is suspected, of course it's always good to get a doctor's checkup to say, Now you can do this exercise. That's what I suggest. But in general, if the doctor says she's okay, just have her jump a little bit. I'm much more sedentary than I should be. It's just like shame all over my face. I barely get my butt out of the chair to go to the bathroom and cook supper without having to answer the phone. So I don't do anything at all. Plus I'm fat, so I'm not a Jane Fonda that wants to bounce around anyhow. But what I do is I have a trampoline between my bathroom and my office chair. I go over, I step on it, bounce for a little while, then I go to the bathroom. Then I come back and I bounce a little while. So I could never do maybe 15, 20 minutes at a time, but I probably could do that during the day in short intervals. You know what I mean? That's how I would start.
She said, thank you. And then Ada said, can you see in NASA's eye that she had thyroid cancer and a aneurysm in her brain?
There's a little weakness here. You know what? Maybe right here. Wait a minute. Pointer. That looks like weakness, and that's right in the thyroid area. The aneurysm in the brain, you're not going to be able to tell. That doesn't show in the eye. What usually shows if someone's going to get an aneurysm is they get white hair very young. So how old is Navesa?
She's 50.
50. And does she have white hair?
Less than me. So
Oh.
much less than me. Almost none.
Do you know if she dyes her hair?
Yeah, I do dye my hair. She doesn't dye her hair, so I know. No, she barely any white grays on her hair.
Then I don't know why she'd have an aneurysm. But no, aneurysms don't show in the eye.
Okay. Thank you.
Let me change that. I don't know of a way of seeing aneurysms in the eye. I can't say there is no way, but no way that I know of. Does anybody here know that how to tell aneurysms?
No, but Diane said, Mary, I hear you drinking your water. Good for you.
Sorry about that. I try to do it more quietly. It's kind of hard. But this could be something going on in the this is the thyroid right here. Okay. Patricia, who does Patricia belong to?
Me again?
You've been busy.
I know.
Well, you know what? Do you mind if we go through Patricia after at the end? Is that okay?
No problem.
Is Raquel yours too?
Yes.
Okay. Jane?
No.
Okay. Then we'll come back and do those three at the end, okay? All right, who belongs to Jane? Anybody here belong to Jane? Jane's an orphan? Nobody? Well, the one thing I wanted to say is her autonomic nerve wreath goes like this, which means her bow is very constricted, very, very constricted. Matter of fact, look at her poor digestion ring. It's out past the autonomic nerve wreath. Do you see that ring? That's the opposite of how it should be. Okay, let's see. Same with this too.
Mary, somebody asks, would that mean constipation?
I don't know about constipation, but it would mean that when she went to the bathroom that it wouldn't be nice and full. You know, there's no way that I can't see her having bowel movements that are 3 inch, 2.5 inches or 2 inches diameter.
And Ada asks, what is the red around the eye?
Are you talking about this rusty looking stuff here?
Yes, that I see in both eyes. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I do know it means something. I just can't remember what it is. What you're seeing is the sphincter muscle. The pupil is a sphincter muscle. This band right here that I always talk about, the band, it's actually a muscle. And that's what allows your pupil to relax and get large or constrict and get small. So what you're seeing is the muscle, that particular muscle, but I can't remember what it means. I think what it means is a really, really thin lining of the stomach, but don't quote me on that because I'm not sure. Okay, any other question?
But just on that last one, Dr. Mary.
Yeah?
My understanding is the red border, usually poor liver and kidney function and metabolism, and they could have some arthritic conditions.
This reddish look here, this rusty look.
Yeah.
What is it called, Cherie?
Called a rheumatic ring pupil border, or just a red border.
Really? Could you email that to me?
Of course.
I'm going to try to teach an IPA class, and I'm working on it, but man, it makes your brain spin, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Huh?
Yeah, I'll send you what information I've got here on the pupil border signs. I've got a few.
I appreciate that.
One more question. What makes it so constricted?
Usually just the nerves has constricted and a lack of fiber. So between the two, the intestines are a muscle. So it can get tight, like if you're nervous, and fiber will keep it full. So if it's someone who eats nothing but Cocoa Puffs, that can do it. Or if they have a decent diet, it could be someone that just has a lot of stress in their life. Because it is spastic too. But that's what constricts it.
This one's mine.
Okay. So what we have saying about Donnie here?
Bad digestion.
Yep. Poor digestion.
Autonomic nerve wreath.
Yep.
Cholesterol.
Yep. Very good. Cholesterol.
Liver.
Liver.
Brain shrinkage.
Yep. Brain shrinkage.
Liver spots.
I think that's chromium. I think this is liver and this is liver. I think that's chromium. I mean, not chromium, unutilized insulin, you know what I mean.
Yes.
Pancreas.
Francie said good constitution.
It's less squigglier. Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, this guy suffered from prostate, and they went in and like roto-rooted him. And I don't think it did that good a job. So we're working with him. Me and a chiropractor together are working with him.
Have you given him saw palmetto concentrate?
I believe so.
I would, saw pimento concentrate I would do. I would give him liver cleanse and
I have him on that.
zinc.
Okay.
And interesting enough, there's a lot of unutilized insulin in that pancreas area there. Joanne, could you bother to give me that link again?
And Ada said acid.
Yeah, acid.
When he, I'm trying to think, but when his prostate got bad, he got real forgetful. I think they had a time with him. But I think, I'm trying to think about the kidneys, if we did anything.
Okay, so look, right here's where the prostate is, right here. There's an unutilized insulin there. Now on this side, not so much, but there's a lot of acid. But he has a lot of liver. A lot of liver. And then there's a weakness on this gallbladder. And the liver itself, right here, there's a couple places that's dark.
How about that squiggly line up by the lung, or in the lung?
That is called a transversal. That's what they call a transversal, right, Cherie?
It's quite squiggly though. I'm not sure if it's completely...
Well, if it is a transversal, that means that these fibers are very weak and they kind of snapped.
Somebody asked, what is a transversal?
These lines that go across like this, sometimes they get weak and they snap. And that's what a transversal is. That's how it was explained to me. How they explain it to you in Australia, Cherie.
Yeah, pretty much the same.
Okay. And they say, and because of that, you know that that area must be weak or the fibers would be stronger. So I would suspect this person's lung is not as strong as what it should be. But the digestion is huge. The liver is huge. And all this chromium, I'd really be worried about this guy becoming a diabetic as well.
Okay.
And then the cholesterol and the nervous system. So nerves, digestion, liver, chromium. Nervous system, brain, liver, chromium. At least those.
Did we look, because I don't have my chart in front of me, on that eye that you were just on?
This one here, yeah.
Yes. Down about between 5 and 6, 25 and 30. Kidney, that's kidney.
Right here?
Yes.
Yes, there's a weakness on the kidney.
Okay.
It's the whole kidney. I'm not sure which of this is dark or which of it, I don't know. See, around the pancreas, there's a lot of toxins as well. I would work with at least those things. Okay, any other questions or comments about this eye?
Nope. Someone said, this group of people don't seem to have as many yeast issues as most people.
But also realize the thinner the myelin is, the collarette on the nerve wreath is, the harder it is to see yeast too. Okay, Sherry, you have any other questions about this?
Nope.
Okay. Okay, who belongs to Betty?
That's probably mine too.
Okay. You sound too thrilled about it.
I can't remember. I sent 5 of them and I didn't write them down, but I'm pretty sure this one's mine. In fact, I think this is the wife to the one you just did.
Okay. I would say their autonomic nerve wreath goes like this.
Yes, Ada said thin myelin.
Yep. Yeah, you can hardly tell it. It might have dipped down a little further down here, I'm not sure. So what would this indicate when it's really, really tight?
Constricted.
Yep. Needs a lot of fiber.
Okay. Joanne said liver, radius solaris, toxic bowel.
Yep. Leaky gut.
Someone said heart.
Right here. I would happen to agree.
So that heart doesn't look too bad, does it? I can't really tell.
Well, you shouldn't see anything in the heart at all.
Okay.
But I would first make sure onions and garlic, parsley, some capsicum, I would add those to it at least.
Okay.
Are you taking a picture with your scope?
Yes.
Did you notice that you don't see calcium deficiencies with that scope?
You know, now that you say that, I don't think I have.
No, it doesn't bring it out. So what I do is I take a picture of their eye with my camera, even if it's blurry, just to see the calcium house solution in a pupil.
Good idea.
Because my scope doesn't pick it up either.
Okay. Someone said acid.
Yep, acid.
This lady had something wrong with her throat at one time. Well, you could see a weakness in her esophagus, I believe.
Here's her thyroid, and her esophagus would be down here. Because, let's see, wait a minute.
Left eye.
Yeah. So, get it on this side. I had to come up with a better way for this. Okay, so.
Well, I wish I would have had their papers in front of me, too, when we were doing this. I didn't even think about it.
So, yeah, here's the thyroid right here, and here's the esophagus right here. Little weakness on her ovaries. She might have had cysts on her ovaries at one time.
So now I'm looking between her lung and her breast at quarter after.
Right here, you mean?
Yeah, that black line and that dark line.
Well, this dark, whenever you have white around it, it's really hard to tell how dark it is. It can be misleading sometimes too. But those are things that I would ask about.
Okay. Someone asked, what are the little lesions at 6 o'clock?
Here?
Yes.
I want to say refractions. Cherie, what do they call those?
Yeah, rarefractions.
Rarefaction, that's what, it's not real fraction. Okay, rarefactions. It's just kind of like, you know how you have a pair of nylons and there's not a run, but some of the fibers are just like moved over some? How would you explain what a rarefaction is, Cherie? See, Cherie learned the
I
IPA
generally,
way. I'm sorry.
oh, not really, just a little.
Oh, I thought you
I generally say only, yeah, just a little bit. It's really so in depth that You just get lost a lot of the time in the...
I know, tell me about.
Oh.
I'm trying to
And
develop a class for it.
I just looked up in my book for that curved transversal, and it says the degree of curvature is relative to the pathological implication. So the more curved they are, that was the one in the lung, I think.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, it's definitely very curved.
But what would you say rare fractions are? Just like just kind of like a run, not a run, but like a the best way I can understand the concept of it, but like if you have a pair of nylons, and do you ever have a pair of nylons that have like these little spaces where the fibers are a little further apart? It's not a rip and it's not a run. Just an imperfection. When I see this, I assume that this person probably in the kidney area is not quite as strong as other people's kidneys, but I wouldn't consider it as being a lesion or a lacuna.
So rare fractions aren't anything to worry about?
They indicate that there is an inherent or a weakness in that area, but it's not as weak as something that has been like damaged, you know what I mean? Like they didn't have an injury to the kidney. They don't have tumors in the kidney. It just means that the kidney's not as healthy as what another person's kidney would be. Help me out here, Sheree. How would you say it?
Basically, it's just a reduced function of that organ or the area that the rare fraction is on. So, again, it's just another weakness, but it's...
But not as serious as a lacuna, right?
Not as serious. But then the darker the rarefaction, the more, well, more the disturbance of that area. So again, you've always got to ask, questions. Some people can have symptoms and others may not.
If someone came to me and had this, I would treat it as, and I'm not saying this is what it is because I don't want to get IPA upset. I would treat it the way I would for someone who has a genetically weak kidney. So I would baby the kidney, but I wouldn't necessarily aggressively work on the kidney. Does that help?
Someone asked, yes. Is it always hereditary?
I have no idea. If rare fractions show, I don't know. I have to look it up. I am just looking at the IPA stuff now. What I learned before was Jensonian and what I've worked with. I notice when people have this, they have no pain. Like this is in the kidney area, so they would have no pain in the kidney area. They probably wouldn't even have gout. They would have typically no real weaknesses. But maybe someone in the family would sometimes. But it just, it's not quite up to par. So I would treat it as a genetic weakness, although it does, I'll have to look it up. As I said, I am right now working my tail off trying to develop an IPA certified class for you guys. And every single fiber, they have a name and this long crap. I'm trying to make, I could teach it, but so that you understand it and know the mechanics behind everything and why things happen the way they do, it's quite involved. I have spent hundreds of hours already, and I'm probably going to do hundreds of hours more. So I apologize, I can't tell you more than that. I can just tell you what I know from when I see this for people. I cut out the coffee, the tea, the soda, the colored drinks, and have them drink a lot of water.
Okay, she said thanks.
Yeah. But email me that, and I'll ask Betty Sue that. Betty Sue is, well, she just stepped down right now, but she was the president of IPA, and she's a friend of mine. She's a real sweet lady, and she's helping me. Actually, I passed IPA with 90%, except for the terminology. The terminology for the lacuna and the terminology for these things. I really suck at them. My cases were all good, between 90 and 100, or what to do for them. So I was satisfied with that before, but I'm trying to get it for you guys, so. Oh wow, look what we have here. That's cleaning out. Why would that clean out? That's a shoulder area. Okay, so Betty belongs to you, right, Sherry?
Yes.
I almost called you Cherie. Did she have an operation or something on her shoulder?
Oh, I'm trying to think. Oh. I know she had something with her throat. She has trouble like speaking and talking at times, which it's gotten better, but I cannot think about her shoulder.
Shree, what would you think this is?
So is it definitely outside the autonomic nervous sheath? I can't tell because I'm only on my phone.
It starts a little bit on the inside, but it's mostly on the outside, yes.
Yeah, it's definitely neck and shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't zoom in to see. It's not very clear.
It looks almost like marble is what it looks like on my thing. Well, you know what? Email me, Sherry, and I will send this to IPA too. But I would think, since it's white, I would think cleaning, this part looks like it's clean. This looks like there's inflammation. So I would work with inflammation. I'd probably give her some ginger, which is really good for the shoulder area. I would probably do some Epsom salt soaks to pull some of that out.
Okay. I think I missed this one question. How can you tell that the heart area is not a rare fraction?
Because it's wider than a rare fraction. It's about this wide. And rare fractions are almost like slits. And this has a little bit of more of a football shaped thing to it, like that. While these are more like, just like this.
Okay, and then Francie asked, could it be infection in her shoulder?
I think it's inflammation in the shoulder. That's why I wanted to see if she was operated on. To see, I don't know. I would treat it as inflammation or infection, probably inflammation. I don't see an infection pocket here, but then we don't see the whole eye. But there's an infection pocket here, then I would treat it as an infection. But right now, I'd probably treat it as inflammation.
Okay, thank you.
And this is why asking questions is a lot. If you see this in someone's eye and you'll say, I see something in your shoulder, and they'll go, oh yeah, I had to get this repaired. And they usually tell you. Whenever it's something this prominent, they usually know what it is. So you just have to say, I see something in the shoulder neck area, and they usually can, you know, maybe she's getting those shots, those jelly shots that they put in people's joints. I don't know.
I don't know, but one thing, since I have been working with her, her daughter is a chiropractor. We've been both working with her together, and she is getting her energy back. She had no energy, so
Well, good.
yeah,
Well, ask
made
her
me
about
feel
her
good.
shoulder, then let us know. And whenever I get the answers, I will post it in our Natural Health Professionals Answer Your Questions. So you email me the question, I'll find the answer, and I'll post it in there.
Okay, and she has the cholesterol on her eye too. I don't know if we mentioned that or not.
Yeah, a little bit. But I think her bowel, her nervous system, her liver, and the acid is much, those are the 4 that I would really work on.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Okay, Jolynn. Who belongs to Jolynn?
That's me too.
Between you and Ida, we wouldn't have a class without you guys. Okay, so what do we see, guys?
Well, bad digestion, acid,
Yep.
bronchioles, lymph.
Okay, let's go slow so I want to show, I can't find it again. Okay, so this is poor digestion. These are lymph.
We got acid.
Here's a bronchial here. Let's see, is this the left eye or right eye?
Left eye.
Okay, so that's a bronchial. The bronchus would be in this side. Okay. How about this? Neck, perhaps?
I think her neck was bothering her.
Can you hit me one more time, Joanne? Oh, there it is. I found it. Forget it. Or maybe you did send it. So this would be bronchial down here. Right in here would be in the neck area. Yeah, I know you did. Thank you. I'm sorry. I didn't notice that it had gone up without me. And then what would you say this is right here?
Well, it's touching, so is it pancreas?
It might be. Might be the pancreas. It's really hard to tell. This, I would say, would be liver and uterus. Oh, man. I mean, adrenal and uterus, not liver and uterus.
Someone said thin myelin.
Yep. Very, very thin. Did anybody say acid?
Yes, somebody said acid. We have balloon bowel.
It's, oh, right here? If it goes
Probably.
like this, yeah. There's a real weakness here, which is above that. It would be in the throat or lower jaw area.
We have liver. We have pupillary rough.
Yep. See this eye. Okay. See how I can do this. All right. So this would be again the bronchioles. What would this be here, do you think? This is straight down. Appendix, possibly?
Boy, that's pretty big, isn't it?
Yep, it might be pretty swollen there. So,
I'll have to ask her about that.
Again, then a shoulder neck area. Lung.
Someone said pancreas.
This is hard to tell. I'm not sure. We know we have liver here. We know we have acid. We know we have poor digestion. We have thin myelin. I would work with at least those. Because that digestion is very, 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 very bad.
Someone said thyroid.
Yeah, there's a weakness on the other side for thyroid too. This is throat or jaw. It's a little bit higher, but this is thyroid.
This lady had, I wish I could think what it was, and her husband took her to the doctor and they couldn't find anything, and he went out and pulled some herbs out of the garden and made a tea, and she drank it and she was fine. Oh boy. Boy, it gets hard when you start seeing a lot of people to remember these stories.
It is. It is, and then sometimes I make them up. One time I was telling this lady about this one story, and she said, Mary, that was me.
Oh.
That was so embarrassing.
This one was good because it was after, I can't remember what she, but she got real achy joints and everything, and the doctor could not find nothing, and he made a tea for her. She drank it for a couple of months. It cleared right up.
Was it burdock tea?
I'm not sure what tea, and no, boy.
Oh, you can find out and then post it in our group.
You have to do that.
But there's a lot of acid.
So now she's really into this. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah. Yep, a lot of acid.
Okay, so that's what I would do. Food enzymes, uno de gato, corrector pH. Liver. That's what I would do. And as far as it comes to bronchial and lung, see what the body does after you get all that acid out.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, who belongs to Wes?
This is me.
Okay.
Also.
All right. This looks almost like a bullseye, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It does. Okay, so what do we have for Wes here? What's going to kill Wes first?
Well, Mary, now that you said that, this guy has passed away.
Oh, I am so sorry.
Yeah. I didn't even know. I just found out not too long ago, but I'm wanted to ask something about this eye because I told him something about his lung, but I think he ended up dying of a hole in his lung.
Well, there's so much acid here, it'd be pretty hard to tell. Well, there's a weakness in the bronchus here. Let me see. I'm just going to, you guys got to look in your chart. That just makes it too tough. But the bronchioles are kind of weak, but look at all this acid. Unbelievable how much acid there is. There's also a weakness on his aorta.
And then one thing I discovered, I learned on my own, is I had him pull his pant leg up, and I pressed my thumb in his leg, and it left like a dip in there, like you could put water in there.
Yeah, it's called edema.
No,
Pitted edema.
It's what, Mary?
It's called pitted edema.
Really? I thought it meant something was wrong with the heart when you can actually put like a little water in there and it can actually stand in there. It was that deep.
Yeah, yeah. Usually, although the heart can pull all the lymph out of the lower extremities, it's usually kidney based. And there's uric acid in him, and there is a weakness on the kidney. Also, I notice if you give someone enough potassium, most of that goes away, even if the heart is weak. But there is a weakness on his aorta. So it's not just one thing possibly, but several that are working on it.
I think he had a heart attack, I believe, at one time.
Well, there's a weakness on the aorta, so
Okay.
that's possible. Here's this other, and now look at this. This part looks so much more toxic than this part looks bluer. Interesting eye. It's a shame. But look at here, here's his bronchioles here, quite deep.
I know. I didn't know about posting this. I just found out actually about a month ago that he passed. But because I had a few questions, I put it up for a learning experience.
Yeah. Well, he has lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of acid. Acid just poisons the snot out of the body. It keeps the enzymes from working. It really does havoc on the body.
Well, Francie just asked, why is that watch band so white?
Because his digestion is that bad. His digestion was horrible. His liver was bad. His acid, so his body wasn't getting rid of the toxins well.
You know what? He even has one of them in the sclera over there by like 9 o'clock.
Right here?
Yes.
Yeah, called a pinguecula.
I couldn't tell if it was that or just a yellow spot from the liver.
No, I think it's a pinguecula. You know what? This could very well be what aluminum looks like. That looks like aluminum to me. Right here. Somebody want to know what aluminum looks like? Do you see how it almost glows like a metal? Remember I said it shows up here or here typically? Who asked that earlier? Are they still here? I'm telling you, these guys are troopers because it's like, what, 10:30 or something?
Yeah, well, we had a couple people, Mercy had to leave, and we lost a couple because I think, but I'm not sure who that was, but Diane asked, is that in the brain?
The aluminum? It's not in the brain, like the brain area is this part here. But if you see aluminum anywhere in the body, it usually shows up here or here, but the person will have Alzheimer's, which is aluminum in the brain. I don't know why it shows typically in this area here or in this area here. Every time I've seen it, that's where it is. But it looks like it almost reflects or glows. You see how that is? That's not cholesterol. So I don't know why it doesn't show in the head area. But and I haven't done hundreds of millions of Alzheimer's patients, just a handful. But they truly had Alzheimer's. Because some people think they have Alzheimer's and we work their fatty acids and their Alzheimer's so far, or so-called, go away. I think they had just had dementia. But the people who truly had Alzheimer's, either here or here, I saw that reflective glow, not in the brain. Okay, well, we're not, in his liver's weak. We're not going to go over this since he's not here anymore, but it was an interesting eye.
That's fine. Thank you.
Okay, who belongs to Amanda?
That might be mine too.
That's my eye again, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Did we do your eye already?
Yes, I do have a question though. What's that little dot? Yeah, right there.
That's the liver psora.
Okay, so all the little dots that I see, that's just the liver, and this darker spot, it's kind of at 9 o'clock closer to the pupil. Is that the liver also?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
But you have leaky gut. We already went through you, right? You're like one of the first. Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Then we won't do it again.
Okay.
Here's another one. Your lining is pretty burnt. And it's flat. We talked about that too. I remember now. Okay. Ada, are you still here, Ada?
Yes, I am.
Okay. We have one, two people to go over with you yet. My brain, I can hardly even think right now. Would you mind terribly if we did this tomorrow, just you and I on one-on-one?
No. Yes, that's good. We could do that tomorrow.
Okay, how about, let's see. Tomorrow is, how about at noon?
Let me see.
My time.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, noon my time.
Okay, yeah, it's the same as mine. Yeah, tomorrow at noon.
Okay,
Sounds good.
I'm sorry, but I don't know about you guys, but I don't even want to repeat my name right now because I'm not really sure.
Thank you, Mary.
Okay.
Hey, Mary,
Yeah?
will you answer this real quick? Somebody asked what's going on in that brain area.
And this eye here?
I believe so, yes.
For one thing, there's an allergy net. And then there's a little bit of lacking or poor circulation. But there's an allergy net going on here.
She said allergy net, question mark?
Yep. Means that chick's allergic to something she's eaten. See, there's some here too.
I think you're not the only one getting a lot going on in the brain, Mary, because I think a couple of us other ones are getting like overloaded too. So
Well, we had a lot of eyes. We had 17 eyes. I mean, 17
yes,
people. We had 34 eyes. So, yeah, that's a lot, which is great. I wish I had, in my younger years, oh, and by the way, here is some fermentation right here. My younger years I could do it, but it's almost 11 o'clock.
yeah, we've lost a couple people. You know, a couple people had to go because
Oh, I
of
understand.
it getting late. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you all for sending the eyes. I appreciate it, and you're doing good. I haven't heard anybody make any like total crazy suggestions. I mean, it seems like everyone seems to be doing right on.
Well, I tell you, Mary, I like that you go over the eye because some things are like, oh, that is right. It comes back to me. So some things I wouldn't have thought of. So
Well, remember this. Anyone in our group, if you want to take pictures of eyes and we do consultations or do these one-on-one, like Ada and I are going to do tomorrow, you let me know and I'll make time for it. I might not be able to do it the very next day. I just still haven't had someone cancel tomorrow, but I'll try to get you as soon as I can. And I read a lot of eyes with a lot of different people. Trust me. It's not, I mean, I like doing it. It's just right now I'm just getting a little burnt out.
yes, I can see. Francie said, thank you so much, Mary. This is always such a fascinating class.
Well, thanks for coming and for your kind words.
And Ada said, all had myelin and acid problems in almost all the liver and bowel because she was keeping track of that.
Oh, thank you. I even forgot about that. See how I am? Well, thank you, Ada. Yeah, see, so those are 4 things that you're going to see in almost everybody. Okie dokie?
Yep, a lot of great classes. Thanks for the links, Joanne.
Yes, thank you
Thanks
so
for
much,
your
Joanne.
time, Mary.
And thank you, Sherry, for your help.
No problem.
If I seem kind of spaced, I don't know, just all of a sudden, feels like my brain's going to crash. But thank you all very much. I appreciate it. All right, I guess I should tell you what's going on next. I don't know. Next week is on balancing blood sugar and inflammation. Is that right? Yeah.
Let's see, we have something tomorrow too, don't we?
Dewey. Oh, yep, getting a good night's sleep. Insomnia.
Yep.
What do you do?
Sleep class tomorrow. Joanne just posted.
Alrighty. Well, thank you all very much. And again, Sherry and Joanne, thank you. And we'll talk to you hopefully again tomorrow. Good night, everybody.
Good night.